this is Jack Dennett inviting you to Maple Leaf Hockey Talks.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States. Tonight, the Maple Leafs hook up with the New York Rangers. And the way the Rangers have been going lately, this should be a real tussle. Right now.
I guess the first time you ever wanted to play in the NHL is when you hear Foster Hewitt, like any kid. You hear him on radio for years, and finally, I think it was in about '53, I saw my first game on television, which is unbelievable for a kid. You see Ted Kennedy, Sid Smith, you heard about these players, and then you see them in action at Maple Leaf Gardens. So then you decide you want to be an NHL hockey player like any Canadian boy.
That's NHL hockey star Brit Selby talking about his dream that came true. This all happened in 1965 when he made the Toronto Maple Leaf hockey team and also became Rookie of the Year. Brit reminisces now about the early years of his life and the step-by-step progress he made to the big time in hockey.
I was born in Kingston in 1945, and I went to Toronto to live where I still remain with my family now. My parents are really tremendous. Like most fathers, my dad didn't put any pressure on me and really helped a lot. Before I started to play, though, he wasn't a real avid fan. He watched the games, and that was about it. Then when I started playing, he took a keener interest.
A sympathetic and encouraging family kept Brit's enthusiasm for the game keen. But even though the game occupied most of his time and his thoughts, it wasn't until he was a teenager that a career in hockey seemed possible to him.
The time when I thought I had a real good chance of making the NHL was the year we won the Memorial Cup. Previously to that, I was very small, and I think when I played Junior B, I weighed 145 pounds, which isn't exactly NHL weight. I was 16 years old at the time, so during that year, I gained about 20 pounds, so I was up to nearly 170, so then the year we won the Memorial Cup, I had a good year, and I thought I had a not bad chance of trying for the NHL anyways.
He built up his weight and strength, and the team won the Memorial Cup. Then one big day, Leaf coach Punch Imlach turned up to have a little talk with Brit.
Punch offered me a professional contract, so I decided to play the 5-game trial.
After that, things happened fast. The first trial game put him right into the important play.
It was a Saturday, I think it was January the 2nd. Detroit were in town, and the day before, Ronnie Ellis had got hurt. So about 1 o'clock, Punch called me into his office and told me I was dressing for the night. I was really thrilled about that, more scared than anything. That night I was the first shift on the ice against Gordie Howe, and I was really, really excited. It was the biggest thrill of my life, really.
And although Brit was too busy to hear it, the famous voice that brought him his first hockey thrills was sending his name into thousands of homes across Canada.
Punch Imlach appears to be going for the youth movement for a change and has brought up Brit Selby of the Toronto Marlborough Juniors for a trial in the big time. And the kid has been doing a real good job. In fact, he was playing opposite Howe for a couple of shifts, and that's a real test.
The next night, we took the train to New York, and I was lucky enough to score a goal. And in Chicago, I got another goal against Dennis DeJordy. It was a deflection from Billy Harris. So I played 3 games, and then I got tonsillitis, and I was out for about a month.
It would take a lot more than tonsillitis to stop a dedicated hockey youngster like Brit Selby. His trial games paid off, and the next fall, he began to find out what it's really like to play with the Leafs.
Well, the training camp, I'd heard a lot about the first training camp of a rookie, how the pros would kind of give you a rough treatment, but I didn't find that. All the veterans like George Armstrong and Bobby Bond, Tim Horton, they really helped me a lot, and I found that it was enjoyable but tough.
It really helped a lot. Working out with the pros showed in his game. And one exciting night, early in the 1965-66 season, in a home game against New York, the hard-learned skills that were to make him Rookie of the Year paid off.
I think it was the second shift I was on the ice. George Armstrong dug the puck out of the corner and shot it out in front, and I deflected it by Jack Dennett.
The Leafs are on the move, and the Rangers appear to be sagging. They're changing on the go. Selby's on the ice. He's over the blue line. Armstrong rushes into the corner. The puck is loose. Here's Armstrong's pass. He shoots a score! Selby gets his first goal after a a 10-game effort, and he seems as proud as punch.
That night, Brit had an exciting taste of how hockey fans react to a player who scores for them. That tremendous support has meant an awful lot to young Brit Selby.
To really get to appreciate the fans in Toronto and even Montreal, but especially in Toronto since I was brought up here and played all my hockey here. They seem to know the game more. You seem to play better in Toronto.
But much as he felt at home on Maple Leaf ice, Brit learned from seasoned pros like Davy Keon and George Armstrong that a Leaf player has responsibilities to fans everywhere, both on and off the ice.
When you first come up, you naturally are hesitant on how you act and especially how you dress, so you watch the older fellows and like Armstrong and Keon, or the younger fellows because they're more your type of way they dress. Every player that on the Leafs has to wear a shirt and tie and sports jacket or slacks to practice and suit to the games. And they have to look well-dressed at all times because they're in the public eye.
Under the watchful eye of Coach Punch Imlach, and with help and encouragement from his teammates, Brit Selby is on his way to becoming a thoroughgoing professional player, a rising star in the ranks of the famous Toronto Maple Leaf Hockey Club. Brit Selby, 21 years old, Rookie of the Year, a young man whose stature is growing, and a man I'm sure you'll hear much more about in years to come.
Hello, everyone. This is Ward Cornell. And, like you, I'm an avid hockey fan from way back. And on this side of the record, Brit Selby, 1965-66 Rookie of the Year, is going to give you some points on how to win at hockey. Brit is typical of the new breed of young players who are making the big leagues these days. He came up through the ranks of the solid, scientific Maple Leaf minor league training system, pretty much the route you'd take if you have the talent and desire to play professionally. But before we hear from Brit, Coach Punch Imlach has some points to make about the new breed of hockey player.
I think the player today is more dedicated to the game and his future. He is better educated and uses this power of being able to learn to facilitate his hockey apprenticeship. The attitude of the player is positive, and he has the confidence that is so necessary to make him a success. The game seems to be built more and more on speed and maneuverability. Naturally, desire is a must. The rewards, I think, justify the efforts and the sacrifices. Brit Selby exemplifies these attitudes of the rookies.
At 5 foot 10 inches and 170 pounds, Brit is the ideal size for a hockey player. But size is not the most important consideration. Speed and strength are first on the list in today's fast, accurate game.
I think today the smaller players that are about 13 or 14 shouldn't worry too much about their size because today the accent on hockey is speed, and most of the smaller players like Henry Richard and Davy Keon, who are small, but the big thing with these fellas, they got exceptional arm muscles, and they can ward off players.
Brit has some pretty important tips on how he goes about getting those arm muscles in shape.
Weight training is a tremendous help. I do that myself now. You just use small weights, but in repetition. That way you don't build your muscle, you just build your strength. And today the strength in your arm has a lot to do on how good a hockey player you are, because depends on the shot, the strength of your shot. You have a fellow like Keon who can shoot as hard as most players in the league, and Henry Richard doesn't take a backward step to anybody. And as you go in the corner with a guy like Howe, you use your arms to kind of ward him off. And if you have weak arms, he can really give you the works, as they say.
Hockey is Brit's life. Even in the off-season, he's busy with it, teaching young players like yourself the finer points of the game at summer hockey school.
You should be learning how to skate and learning to control the puck. And the only way you're going to get better at this is skating with a puck and with your eyes off it. And this drill we have here, skating around the rink between the 4 posts, will help you learn stick handling and puck control.
In his talks with the players, Brit gets across a lot of his own enthusiasm for the game.
You fellas here at the camp, I think, are taking the right attitude towards the game because you're thinking hockey all the time, and to become a good hockey player and to make the NHL, I think you have to think of it at all times because you can really develop your shot in the summer, even if you don't have the ice facilities, which you have here anyways. But and then your strength you can always build up in the summer with the push-ups and playing other sports, baseball, and swimming especially really helps your muscle tone for hockey. All these sports help hockey in different ways.
Brit Selby, Rookie of the Year 1965-66. Perhaps even more than some of the older players, is able to understand and help young hockey fans like yourself understand the game and what it can mean to you. Listen now as he sums up his advice.
The three things that I would tell you young fellas to stress if you wanted to make the NHL would be first, your desire and attitude. I think this is really the important thing because without it, there isn't too good a chance of you becoming a good hockey player. And secondly, is your skating. Without skating, I don't think that anybody can make the NHL if he's not a good skater. He has to be a smooth skater. He's got to be fast and agile on his skates. And for the third, I think your strength in all parts of your body is very important. In your arms because of your shot, and in your shoulders and stomach area because of the jolts you take and the injuries. You don't want the stronger you are, the less prone to injury you're going to be. And then I think most important, your legs, because you got to skate, and that's what hockey's built on, your legs.
Desire and attitude, skating technique, strong legs. Sounds simple. Well, so much the better, because the competition for top hockey berths is mighty keen. And even if you don't have your heart set on a major league career, you still want to play for all you're worth, to play good hockey like Brit Selby. Now, to close off our record, here is an assessment of Brit Selby by the most knowledgeable man in hockey, Foster Hewitt.
Well, I've seen a lot of junior hockey stars in my time, but to me, Selby is a real hard rock. He's a different type of junior that has come up in the last few years. He's a very solid performer, and there's one old-timer that seems to come to my mind very quickly in some relationship to Selby, and that is Frankie Finnegan, and that's going a long way back. But he was the type of hockey player, a real, honest, hard-working winger that was always in the right spot at the right time, and I think this Selby has a great future.
Ward Cornell again. On behalf of Jack Dennett, Foster Hewitt, Punch Imlach, Brit Selby, and myself, we hope you rocks as much as we enjoyed bringing them to you.